Hey guys, so I got another trade overview that I want to share with you guys, and this time it's going to be a mixture of things from a particular setup, breaking a certain level, all of that, and exactly the results of it. So this time it was on Hood, which is the ticker symbol for Robinhood, and these are the results. Now, I want to take you guys to the chart. I'm going to show you how I kind of planned this trade out. Now, we're going to be looking at a chart from the 2-hour time frame, but I was initially planning this thing on the 4-hour. But I wanted to have enough candles here so you guys can see the setup, and also to kind of bring this thing in a little, or I guess I'll say out a little. Pretty much candles. The higher time frame you go, the lower candles you will see on your chart. So that doesn't really matter too much because simply with this particular setup, you can see it across the board. All right. So let's go to the charts. We're going to do a whiteboard lesson. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I made the decision on this trade, where I got in, why, and where I got out. Now, if you've seen the other videos, or at least the previous trade overviews that I did, we talked about what? Bull flags. And in this case, we were working with a bear flag, and we actually still are. And I spotted this, and that was the initial reason that I got to looking at this potential trade. Now, this line here and here, these are my 50 and my 200 EMAs. These are my moving averages that I have on my higher time frame. Now, anything like between the 4-hour daily and weekly is when I'm really looking at that 50 and 200. But I also added it to kind of give me a little bit more on my numbers on that hourly time frame, just to kind of give myself a little bit more confirmation, just an additional confirmation that we could potentially push lower, but not a whole lot. It was just something for me to see, okay, are we above it? Are we in between it? Are we below it? Where are we? Just a little something to add to my reasoning for getting in and shorting this thing. Now, when we talk about bull flags, we also have bear flags. You guys know where the price is coming down here, right? And you see where this consolidation slightly upsided, mostly slanted, but some sideways consolidation before we got this little nice little move to the downside. Now, this is a bear flag, okay? Bear flag. In the previous ones, we talked about the bull flag, which may look something like this, and then the price breaks out, or it may go up, go sideways, and then the price goes to the upside. So that is the bull flag. But this here gave us a bit of a bear flag to work with. Now, there was more than one thing here that made me get into this trade, because if you see this level here at 104, this was a support level. And I had been looking at this level long before we even got all of this here. And I said, if we can hold 104, there's a possibility that we can push back up. But if we break below 104, then there's a possibility that this thing will most definitely come down. This is one of my favorite little confirmations that I like to see on the chart. Not only do we get a breakout from somewhere, no matter what the strategy is, the orb strategy, the pre-market high, pre-market low breakout strategy, whatever the setup, bull flags, bear flags, pennants, whatever. I love to see what you will call a break and retest. Okay, and what a break and retest is when the price breaks below a particular level, whether it's support, whether it's resistance, whether it's breaking out of a trend line and retesting where it broke out and continuing on the trend that it was on. In this case, we had a very nice break and retest, not just a break outside of this flag. This is the flag. And you can see we got that break there, but it also broke below that 104 level here that I had been watching. And we got below that. And so we came down, but we got a retest. This candle here is the retest candle. And what happened? The retest fell and the price continued to come down. When I saw that, I got into my trade here. And then the next day comes, we got a gap down here. And this is what you would call, either you'll hear gap down or you'll hear gap up. In this case, we gap down to where the price skipped over a bunch of levels and opened up with the price further down, leaving us with no type of price action there. Okay, so that's all a gap down is, and vice versa, gap up. And so we got below the 105. We retested up here at that 104 area that I was looking for it to break for a little bit more solid confirmation. We can come a little bit lower from this little support here, and we came down, got this gap, and we came down further. I got out of this trade on today right up in here at $86. Okay, and that was the results of this trade that I showed you guys. A lot of what you're seeing here on the charts where you have multiple kind of confirmations on you making your move. I had this here, which is a bear flag. Okay, and then I had this break here. We got a breakout on the bear flag here. We got the breakout. Then we broke below a heavy support, which was around this 104 here. We got another breakout below support. All right. So once we got that breakout below support there, what else took place? We retested back up here at the 104 support. It was rejected and this thing came back down. So this right here was a mixture of a setup, a pattern, something you guys hear me talk about all the time, which was a bear flag. We got a breakout from the bear flag and a breakout from support, a retest of support, rejection of support, and the price came down. And even better, this thing opened up with a nice little gap to the downside and it continued to fall. Now this little box that I have down here is actually additional support levels that or support and target levels that I was looking at, which was around this little box here, but mainly in this little area here. What happened? We see another, we come down, we push up, we retest again slightly on this next level of support I had here. And what happened? We came down some more, but I decided to go ahead and close out that trade. Now, that right there is just a simple overview of how I made my move on Hood. Very short term. I had no plans of being in it more than about 3 or 4 days, but we finally got back down to this next level or next support and target that I was looking at. And I let that thing continue to go, close it out, trade's over. That's just something for you to take on your own, back test, give a little bit of practice on your end, but this is just something additional to add to your arsenal with outside of the pattern recognition, because of course, like I told you guys before, patterns can be invalidated and they can be short term. This could have gotten broken out here and then started making its way right on back up. So that break and that retest and that rejection there was a little bit more confirmation that this thing went back up to where it broke and came back down. Definitely want to be sure that you add additional things to your confirmation for when you're making your move on your trades. And that is just a little bit of the additional confirmation outside of the bear flag break that I had here, right? So that's all I have for you guys on that today, all right? Be sure that you are not overstaying your welcome in your trades. You're paying attention to what's going on in your charts. If you see profit and it's hitting your levels, take your profit and do not disrespect your levels. If you guys are ready to start learning this thing one-on-one, you can find somewhere wherever I may post this video to get started, either in my 9-week program or to get on a quick one-on-one to kind of refine a few things, or if you want to learn more about these patterns, charting, all of that, I got you. All right. So with that, that'll be all, and I will see you guys on those charts.